Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Forgive how long it's been taking me to start uploading videos again. I just moved and I just got my entire office space set up, so apologize for that. I'm already set up. I've got internet at my house all over again, so I'm hoping to be uploading now on a regular schedule. So that's all I'll say with that right now, but let's not waste any more time. Let's just get directly into the video. So we left off, I just want to remind everyone, so we started with our paper wireframes, our digital versions of those, right? So we've got all of our screens that we're going to mock up. We then made some digital wireframes, and then we started converting these digital wireframes into our high fidelity versions of our mockups, right? So we've got our splash page, we've got our sign up and our sign in page, and we've got our forgot password option here as well. So that's a very good thing. And then we started working on our first home screen page right here. So that's looking very, very good. I also made sure to go ahead and paste our navigation bar on all of our screens just because they are going to be there. So we're going to go ahead and pick up where we left off. So we finished our home page here. This is like our feed page for people that are posting pictures of their burritos. Just as a reminder, we are making a burrito app. It was a random prompt on a prompt generator. So we decided to create our app based on that. So it's looking like the next page that we're going to be creating is a sort of like an explore page feed. So it's going to be this second icon here on our navigation page. So let's go ahead and get started and copy some of the elements that are going to be the same between one page and the other. So we're going to go ahead and copy this. Oh, actually, you know what? I think I might have made a mistake. So I'm seeing the name of this page is called post. So could be, oh, okay, so I think we've decided to omit this page, so we're not going to go ahead and do this one. We're going to go ahead and go directly into our build your own burrito page, so the page that you use to post, to create your post. So that's where you upload your photo, you add a location, you give it a caption, a name and a caption. All right, so let's go ahead and start creating that page, since that is what we have here. And I'm just going to go ahead and copy some of the elements that are going to be very similar. So again, we're going to copy this welcome back user and we're going to paste it here. The only thing that we're going to do though is we're going to change this to build your own burrito, because that's going to be the name of the page that we've got here. All right, now it looks like we're going to add a photo, a place for the photo to be uploaded, and then a button for that as well. And let's go back and see if we can't copy any of these elements. Let's see. Yeah, perfect. That isn't exactly what I wanted to do, but it'll work. Change the name of this button because we always want to make sure that all of our elements are well named. All right, perfect. I'm going to go ahead and decrease the size of my icon here just so it's not in the way. All right, so we've got our upload picture there, and I might, let's see, you know what, let's group these two together so that they don't. Perfect. And we'll call this perfect. So we've got that grouped. I'm probably going to go ahead and adjust the space. I want to go see what the other elements look like though. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to add our picture element. All right. And so I'm probably just going to, I'm probably just going to go ahead and pull from this. And the reason why I wanted to do that is so that we can keep the same photo. And I just want to make sure that I'm and you know what it will probably do? I'm probably going to go ahead and turn on our layout grid. And we're going to go ahead and change this, and we want columns. I usually want 5. I usually give about 16 for space on the margins. Just so that it makes sure, we want to make sure that our page isn't crowded. Perfect. Go ahead and line up those elements there. And obviously, or maybe not so obvious, before we finish our final mockups of all of these things, we're probably going to go ahead and turn on that grid as well, just to make sure that we have some uniformity to work with. And I've left some space up top on all of our screens because we are going to be adding sort of that iOS, the pill shape. What is it called? The cutoff on the top of the screen, just so that it gives it a more iOS look. Alright, go ahead. I want to move that. I'm going to go ahead and go back. Alright, let's see. Alright, so we're going to add text boxes for the caption and the name, and then we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and copy this, and I'm just going to paste it here. Perfect. And then go ahead and do that here as well. Perfect. Obviously, we're going to center this. Group this here. We want to call this group post Burrito button. Perfect. Now it's centered on the bottom of the page, and there we're starting to see a little bit of uniformity, some design style elements, you know, like a design language that we want to make sure, because what we don't want, you don't want your entire app to look like it's a bunch of different, people came and designed it. You want to make sure that there is a design language that reads throughout the entire app. So we just want to make sure, making things uniform, you know, making sure that things are lined up in the same place, that they have the same colors, fonts, font weights. That's going to make sure that your posts look very uniform. And one thing I'm actually going to edit here that I've noticed is I'm going to go ahead and just keep these as lowercase, because we haven't been capitalizing our other ones. Notice here on our sign up and sign in page that we haven't been doing that. So we're not going to go ahead and start now. All right, so this is looking like it's starting to come together. Let's go ahead and add the location, the name, and then caption. Okay. So I will probably take something like this and then post it here on our page. All right, and then we're going to call this probably just going to add a text field right here. Alright, we're going to add some curvature to it. And we'll go ahead and give it a stroke. And that looks good. And then we'll probably add some text to it. We'll put like Reno. And then what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and lower the opacity of this to like 50%. Perfect, so that it looks like it's a placeholder. And I'm probably just going to go ahead and place this right here, so that way people know that it's a placeholder, that you can add your own text by clicking this text box. And then usually what would happen is we'll probably have to do some user text testing just to make sure that the things that we're adding, that these elements, you know, that these elements work with each other. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and go back. And I'm just going to group these together so that when we move them, we're moving both of them. Alright, I'm going to group this selection, and we're going to call this group location status bar. That way when we move it, oh no. Let's go ahead and bring this to the front then, and then we're going to highlight both of them. And we're going to group the selection. And we're going to make sure that the group has perfect. And then we're going to call this do now, we're just aligning the elements, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I understand. I want to make sure that there is the spacing between our elements is consistent. So yep, 5. Okay, perfect. So that's looking a lot better there. What I probably should do here is add, actually, I wish there was a way to add, let's see if we can add a plugin, an icon. Open up our plugins and see what's going on here. And then the one thing I want to remember too is that we are using, actually let's use our Google icons. Let's go ahead and, oh, what did I do there? We did the material ones, I remember that. And then let's go ahead and look for a location one. And what I'm looking for is that pointed arrow, or something that conveys location specific data. So I guess probably something like this. And I'm probably just gonna drag it out. Alright, and I see it here. And I'm just gonna go ahead and shrink this from, let's do 20 by 20. Alright, perfect. And what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna lower the opacity of this one as well to 50 so people know, like, hey, these go together. Perfect. And you know what? I might switch the order that they go in, because perfect. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and then group all of these elements. I know there's a group within a group, but that's fine. I'm gonna call this add location, and that'll include all of our things. Okay, so we've got the add location. Now we just need to add the name and then the post. So what I'm probably gonna do is I'll probably just copy this. Oh, don't know what I did there. Oh, you know what? I'm going to have to go ahead and change that because, yeah, we don't want to change the grouping. You know, I'll probably get rid of this too then. All right, and this is archival black. Let's just make sure that we're following. Yep, archival black. Okay, perfect. And then what size is this text? 12. Okay, perfect. Here, and I'll add another rectangle here. Give this some curvature, and let's see how long this one was. This So it's 188 by 26. Let's go make this, let's make this 30 just so it's nice and rounded. Alright, and then let's make this one 190. So we've got uniform. Actually, let's see what 200 looks like. Actually, I don't like that. 190 works a lot better. Pixels of space between them. Let's go ahead and add this stroke as well too. And let's see. Let's add some more text here and we'll give this a name. Super fabulous asada burrito. Alright. What I'll go ahead and do and then again we're going to bring this opacity down to about 50% so that it conveys that this is like a placeholder name. Perfect. And I like these. I'm going to go ahead and group these elements again. Oh no, didn't want to frame them. I want to group them, and then we're going to call this perfect. So that's looking decent as well. Alright, and then again we're going to go ahead and add some text here. Captions. And then I want to make sure that this element and this one have at least 25 pixels of space between each other so we can get them breathing. And we're going to add another rectangle. And then what is the length of this one? This one, let's do 350. And I'm going to go ahead and center it as well. Oh, okay, I don't like that. Let's see. Let's go ahead 360 and see what that looks like centered. Okay, 360 is about right, and then let's make the height 70 just so that it's even. Perfect. So let's go ahead and make this one about 360 pixels wide, and let's do 100. Whoa. Let's go ahead and add this stroke, center it, and you know what? The height, we might have to concede a little bit. Let's see how far this one is from this one. I want to make sure. Yep, 10 pixels. Perfect. So that's looking good. Like I said, it's pretty simplified. We don't want to overthinking. The point is to get the mock-up done. Right? Once the mock-up is done, you can then go back and user test, but it's really about how creative of the process can you get it done, right? So let's focus more on getting this thing done than making sure that it's perfect. We're gonna add a text. Go ahead and create make this just about as wide as our caption box. And the one thing I see that we need to do here is we need to go ahead and add some space for this text because it's way too. Yes, there you go. Now the point of this is just to ensure that we have, you just want to make this as legible as possible, and if the text is going to be pretty small, you want to make sure that there's spacing so that whoever is reading it, you don't want them to have to squint. Alright, and then I'm going to go ahead and again, we're going to change this opacity down to 50 just because these are all placeholders, right? You want to give the impression that like, hey, like this is sort of what we're thinking of when you're adding a caption. So we've gone ahead and finished that page. Like I said, I don't want to spend too much time on it just because we want to make sure that we get this project done. I'm just checking the time here. All right, so it's looking like we're going to do the build your own burrito page. And I'm going to go ahead and change this because I just see some redundancy. We're going to go ahead and upload your own burrito. That looks good. We're going to go ahead and copy this text here, and we're going to go ahead and paste it here. And then this is the one that we're going to call build your own burrito. Perfect. And does this have, alrighty, perfect. So here, what we're going to go ahead and do, we're going to add a text box. Okay, perfect. So here is going to be an image box. Give this about 370 pixels in width. Actually, let's do 360. So we've got some room to breathe. Let's center it. And then let's give it about, so is that 10 pixels? 12. Let's see what 10 looks like. Yeah, 10 pixels in space to breathe. Let's give this one some corners so it's not too aggressive, and just cause we're gonna go ahead and add the photo. Let's go to Unsplash. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and just pick one. I want to make sure that I'm not. Actually, this one looks perfect. Perfect. We won't worry too much about this one. That looks good. Build your own burrito. And now what we're gonna do is, let's see, create post, finish. I have it like that. Let's see. Interesting. I don't remember why I had two buttons for create, post, and finish. So I don't want to think too much about it, so I'm probably just going to omit that, and I'm just going to include one button. This one's going to say post burrito. Oh, actually, you know what? Okay. Okay, perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that these pages, so it'll be this page before you go on to the next one. So I'm going to add both buttons. So I'm going to go ahead and copy these elements, and I'm just going to paste them here. here, I'm gonna rename them. So this button here will take you to the next one. This page right here will take you to this page, so you can finish uploading your photo. Or here we'll just make this one. Post now. This again, so it's nice and organized. Perfect. I'm just gonna go ahead and update the naming so we don't get confused. Okay, perfect. So we've got that. And now we've got to add the text box for the notes. And again, I'm just gonna go ahead and we're not gonna reinvent the wheel since we already have these elements already creatively designed. Perfect. And we'll just add this. Perfect. So we've got this text box. We're just going to go ahead and stretch it out. Perfect. Alrighty, so it's starting to come along really well. I really like the way this is starting to look. Alright, what other elements do we need to add? Oh yes, that's right. So we actually have so you have to make sure we have all of this here. Tortilla, beans, protein, toppings, salsa. Okay. Let's see. We've got tortillas, beans, protein, toppings. Okay. one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add an other, just because, I mean, burritos are like, there's no rule that says that these are the only things you can add to a burrito. So we're just going to add it. These are like the traditional elements of a burrito. So we're going to make sure that there is other. And then these ones, I probably just want to make sure that these have like 10 pixels. Whoa, that's the angle. Give them 20 pixels of space. Let's give these ones 20. 20. And I know this isn't the simplest way of doing that. There's definitely an easier way to do that, but I don't want to group them just yet. Okay, perfect. So that's going to be the basis for it. That's actually looking really, really good. And here's where I'm going to go ahead and go use our secondary. This is where I'm going to use this text right here. Since we have two font pairings here, I think this is going to be an excellent time to go ahead and use that second font pairing. And let's go ahead and actually make this 12 as well. We're going to name this tortilla options and group them. Perfect. So we've got the basic setup of how this is going to look. I just want to make sure that it is looking spaced out. And okay, so that's looking pretty good. What is this right here? Oh yeah, obviously. Perfect. And you know what? I actually might think about, I don't know. There's a lot of negative space here that I don't know that I want to make sure I can use it. Let's see. Looks like I need to refresh the shortcuts that I'm using because they're not working out well for me. You know what, let's just make these right now. Okay, let's call this Asada. Let's call this Asada. You know what, I'm going to get rid of this one too. This one. Perfect. Pollo chicken. What are my other options? I'm like blanking on the stuff that I like. Okay, al pastor. Al pastor, which is technically called shepherd style, but you know what? That's a story for another time. All right, perfect. So that is looking pretty decent. Let's go ahead and see. Okay, I'm gonna group all of these and call these protein options. Yep, that's sounding good. Alright, so we've gone ahead and named that. So now we've got our tortilla, our beans, our protein. Now we just need to add the toppings and the toppings and the guacamole. Can't forget about the guac, man. It's so true. So we got our toppings there, and you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna go ahead and fill in all these, because obviously we want a freaking burrito with all the works. I don't know about you, but I get my burritos with everything. I want you to barely be able to close it, because I've got so many options. Okay, so this is looking a lot better. Like I said, I don't really like the use this negative space here. I do feel like, what if we, now the negative space changes from one side to the other, but you know what, I think it looks a lot better. It's a lot easier to read that way. What I'm also thinking of, if I have time, is we're going to go ahead and we're going to go and put all of these options under each heading, which we might actually end up doing. Let's finish this one, and then let's see what. All right, and I realized, I think I've just realized what I'm doing wrong. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So we've got green and red. Are there any kinds of salsa? You know what? Chipotle has like a corn salsa, so we're gonna go ahead and we'll add that too. Okay, perfect. So those are our salsa options there. And you know, the more and more this is getting done, the more and more I think I'm going to go ahead and switch the layout. Let's see what other options we could add. I don't know what things that people add as well. You know what, for this one, I'll go ahead and add a text box, because and then we'll give this one, what, 360 in length. We'll give this one 30 pixels of height, and we'll give it some curvature as well. We're going to add a stroke so that it's really uniform. I'm going to make sure that these are about 10 pixels apart. Oh, 100 pixels is not what I wanted to give it. Let's give it 10 pixels. And we're going to go ahead and group this as well. We're going to call this other topping options. And we're going to go ahead and place this about, let's see, let's give them about 20 pixels of space. Oh, actually 20 pixels of space. That looks good. Okay. So this page is pretty much done, but like I said, I want to go ahead and reorganize, and I'm going to regroup everything. So let's go ahead and move all of these here, and I'm going to go ahead and give this, let's give these guys 20 pixels of space as well. Actually, you know what, 15 is not bad. And then we're going to give these guys will for sure have 10. Alright, we're going to group this again. We'll call this tortilla. Group these ones. Tortilla, perfect. Go ahead and give this about 15. These about 10. We'll call this beans. Again, about 15. About 10. Oh, okay, see, that's looking a lot better. That's reading a lot better, in my opinion. I could also be wrong. Very possible that I'm wrong. But I think that looks really good. Perfect. So let's go ahead and give it 10 there. Group this one as well. We call this toppings. Alright, so it's looking like I'm going to have to bring these down just a little bit, just to give the rest some room to breathe. And again, this one we want to give it about 15 pixels of space. You want it to breathe. These ones we want to give them about 10 pixels. And I know we're running out of space, but you know what? We're going to fix that. We are going to fix that. How are we going to fix that? What if we brought this down to 180? That works. And then we brought all of these up. Perfect. And this one, we want 15. Perfect. And this one we want 10. Perfect. And we call these salsa. Alright, that looks perfect. Alright, so that's looking pretty good. You know, obviously we can spend more time working on this and getting a better version of this, but I think this actually looks pretty good. I want to give it a little bit more room to breathe there. I'm going to make sure that these elements are centered. And then I'm going to go ahead and just click this, and let's see what it looks like with the grid. Let's see. Let's give it about 16. Okay, so it's actually not looking that bad. Like I said, our elements seem to be pretty centered. The only one that isn't centered is this build your own burrito, so we're going to go ahead and move that there. And then you know what that means? I'll probably have to do that with the rest of the pages. So we should go ahead and do that now, just so that our elements are looking the best that they can be. Let's go ahead and edit this. Columns. Let's give this 16 in margins. And these posts, I'm going to go ahead and keep them the way they are because they are pretty centered and uniform as well. Oh, I don't know what just happened. Why is this updating? Okay, we're going to go ahead and get rid of that. And for this one, I believe we've got the grid on as well. I just want to make sure the height is, yep, 22 pixels from the top. Okay, perfect. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close this one and this one as well. Next page is the settings page. All right, this one's going to be pretty simple. We'll knock this one out for now. And again, I'm going to copy this element right here, paste it at the bottom, copy this text element as well, and then paste it at the bottom as well. And then I want to go ahead and send this to the back. This to log out, and I'm going to call this the log out button. What did I just do? Whoa, what did I just do? Okay, I don't know what I did there. That was my mistake. I'm a bit confused. But let's go ahead and regroup this. This is going to be called our log out button. And we're going to go ahead and include this element there too. Perfect. Alright, so we've got that. I'm going to go ahead and copy this. Paste it here. I'm going to call it settings. Alright, let's see. Okay, and this page is looking like it's super simple. Notifications, privacy settings, dark mode, about us, donate. Alright, so it's looking like we're just going to have text boxes like this one. Okay, let's go ahead and click the text that we want. Let's see, notification settings. There's no options to underline them, huh? Oh yes, there is. Perfect. Alright, now what I'm going to do, I know there's a ton of negative space here, and that's okay. It's not the end of the world. What I don't want to do is I don't want to go ahead and over clutter this with anything, just because I think that would be worse. I mean, at the end of the day, you know what we could do? What we could do is we could go ahead. You know what? Let me make a button first, real quick. I like this dark mode here because you can switch it. So the way I usually make a toggle switch is I make a button about let's go 25 by 10. All right, and then let's make this about that round. Perfect. And then we're gonna go ahead and add a stroke. Perfect. Now inside of here we've basically already got most of our toggle switch. So what we're going to go do and make it look very iOS is we're going to add an ellipse. Make it about, let's make it 10 by 10. That way it fits perfectly. We'll add a stroke to it as well. And this one we're actually going to fill it in with a very iOS green. Let's see. Perfect. And that way it doesn't look like it's toggled on. And we're going to go ahead and center it. We're going to group this and we're going to call this a toggle switch. Actually, we should probably call it the dark mode toggle switch. Perfect. So we've got that going. And what I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm just going to zoom this across. And here I'm probably going to go ahead and turn on the layout again just because it's going to help me place this where I want it to. And one thing to consider too is that you don't have to make your grids or your margins the way I do. I personally am doing them like this because this is how I saw someone do them when I was learning Figma. So it's kind of just as what I do, but don't think that you have to do things the way I do it. One of the things I really like about Figma is the creative freedom to do things however you want. So my app is not going to look like your app, and your app isn't going to look like the next person's app because everyone's different. So that's basically it. I think what we might do now, just to finish off the video so it's not too long, I'm going to go ahead and open up Figma again. And then I'm going to go to my element kit right here, mobile UI kit, and I'm going to go ahead and copy an element that I really like. It's going to give us that iOS look that we're looking for. Perfect. And what I'm just going to go ahead is I'm going to copy this nav bar. Let's see what it looks like here. Alright, perfect. And then let's make this. Let's center this. And how wide are the screens? 390. Okay, we'll make this one about 390 as well. And center it. Alright, perfect. And then we're going to call this iOS. iOS. Oh, top notch, actually. And this is just from an iOS, a mobile UI kit that I found on the Figma community page. So definitely not something I invented. So don't feel like you have to invent this thing. You don't have to do that. And we're just gonna go ahead and paste this on the top of all of our screens, and it's gonna give it that final look, that very like final boss layer, you know, like that really final high fidelity mockup look. And even then, look at, it's looking very much like an app that you can download off of the iOS store, the App Store. So we're gonna go ahead and call that for today. In the next video, what we'll do is we'll finish off the last 3 screens of the app. We'll make that its own video because I'm gonna go by step, and then the final video in this series is gonna be taking everything that we've done, all of our high fidelity mockups, and then we're gonna go ahead and create a case study, right? So it'll be pretty simple. We're not gonna get too bogged down in the details. We're just gonna create a simple case study that allows us to really provide anyone that's looking at our case study with all of the important written components of it. So what was our user problem? How did we solve it with an app? And then what are our final products? We're also going to add things like the colors and the elements that we use so that it looks pretty much like a really nice case study. And then we'll make that a video in itself, and then we'll call this one done. But hey man, thank you guys for sticking around. I apologize for the hiatus. I'm super glad to be back, and hopefully we can finish this app mockup within the next couple of weeks. But I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.